What's up, guys? Casual Duelist here, and I'm just doing quick little audio recording for a duel that I did a little bit earlier. And basically, so I've been pretty busy with school and stuff, so I'm just coming back, gonna start doing some duel videos, some deck profiles. It's just, and I would be doing them on Dev Pro because I like how it does like the rulings and everything for you, and you don't have to deal with people who have opinions on cards or they think that a card does something when it really doesn't. And excuse me. So basically, I'm back, and I'm just doing this little duel that I did earlier. I was playing heroes, and this guy who I played was playing some weird. It was this weird kind of Dark World deck, and so believe me, you'll see. It's kind of weird, and I knew right when I started playing, I was like, oh my god, it's Dark Worlds. I really don't like playing against Dark Worlds. I'm playing, like I said, I'm playing Heroes. I really like Heroes. It's probably one of my favorite decks, just because Jaden was like one of my favorite characters on Yu-Gi-Oh! And the deck is actually really good, and it's not too expensive to build depending on like what kind you're playing. And so, ooh, sorry, I dropped my phone. So basically, right when I saw that upstart, I knew it was going to be no deck that I liked to play against. Because upstart is usually either Exodia or Dark World or some kind of OTK turbo deck, which is never fun to play against. And the whole reason that I played Fossil Dino was so that he couldn't special summon, and then he activates Pot of or Pot of Duality. So I'm just kind of sitting there like, well, that was pretty much a useless play on my part. But when I don't know what deck they're playing, I usually just like to open with a Fossil Dino or a Thunder King or some kind of stun thing. Sorry, I'm a little sick, so my nose is kind of stuffed. And so I basically just like to start with some kind of stun thing. And so here I was like thinking about discarding the Alias, and then I could activate Hero Blast. Then I realized that I would have a dead Gemini Spark, and so I'd rather have Alias Gemini Spark than like Gemini Spark and Hero Blast or something like that. And right there I was just checking to make sure the recording was still going. We're good. And so he activates Dark Gates, and I'm like, oh well, this is gonna be bad. So when they activate Gates, that's never good. So here he discards his Grappa, and then he targets Fossil Dyna, and I was considering sending it back to my hand, but I thought that I would save it just in case he tries to bring out his Grappa later in the game. Or I felt like I didn't really need to because I could just summon the Alias next turn. I would be just fine, and because I have Honest, so I don't really need to save the Fossil Dyna. So I draw for one day, and I draw into another Alias, and then I summon Alias, and then you'll see I go to attack, only to remember that he had activated one Day of Peace literally the turn before. I do that all the time just because I see like a wide open field with no monsters, and all I want to do is like, you know, deal damage. So we're just, going through it. This is a long video, but basically, I was just thinking, as this goes on, I'm just gonna kind of talk over it. Well, actually, I'd like to say, I never really got the point in activating Reckless Greed unless you were chaining it to like an MST or something, because to me, it seems like a stupid idea just because you're not really going plus. But other than that, I just like to say, leave your guys' comments on what you'd like to see me do, what kind of decks you would like to see me play. I can do other things. I was thinking about maybe doing a Pokemon playthrough. I know that's kind of weird to hear from a guy who does Yu-Gi-Oh videos, but I mean, I figured I'm not even that far into, like, I've only uploaded a few episodes, and I could do some like Pokemon playthroughs with like emulators or something. So just like tell me what you guys like to see. I'm pretty much open to pretty much anything. So if you guys want to see anything, just let me know. And other than that, so he activates terraforming to add gates, and see the. I never really got the point in playing in playing terraforming and stuff in Dark Worlds because you could just add with snow. And here I activate the compulse to send Brow back to his hand because I didn't want him to special summon the Grapha from his graveyard. And I had a feeling this guy wasn't a very experienced Dark Worlds player because he had banished 2 of his Graphas already, which is kind of a dumb idea, unless you're playing that one card, I forget what it is, it's a trap, and you pay half your life points and special summon all your removed from play monsters. But to me, unless you're playing that card, it's really no point. And then at this point, I activate the heavy because I really need to get some damage in, and I don't feel like summoning my alias to 2 back row. So we change the reckless, which I'm fine with, and then I destroy his virus, and then I summon my alias, just get some attack in. And here I'm feeling really good because he can't draw, even though he's got hand advantage, he can't draw. He's got no cards on his side of the field, and I have Compulse, Gemini Spark, and Honest. So I'm not too concerned with what's going to happen. And so... Oh, excuse me. And so I'm just sitting here, and he sets a card, and 1, I think 2 back row, yeah. And so I draw the Miracle Fusion, and I'm like, okay, so I'm just gonna Gemini Spark one of the back rows, get my draw, and I draw a Gores, and I'm afraid to attack into that face down. I thought about compulsing it, but I didn't want to waste the trap, and I'm afraid to attack into the face down because I'm afraid it might be a Morphing Jar, and I really don't want to get rid of my Dark Hole, my Honest, and my Gores. So, just to be safe, I activate Dark Hole here, because I really didn't want to attack into a Morphing Jar, and it's not even a Morphing Jar, it's a Brow. And so I activate my Miracle Fusion right here, I banish my 2 light monsters, and I summon the Shining. And so, so I just get some attack in, and I was really relieved when I got my summon off because I feel like every time I summon the Shining, Compulse gets brought out. And so also, so since I haven't played in a while, I still do make some slight misplays and like stupid little mistakes here and there, but other than that, uh, I'm getting a little bit better, and now that it's summertime, I'll have more time to make videos. I'm pretty much just gonna try to flood my channel, so to the like 10 or so subscribers that I actually have, just get ready to see more videos out of me. And if you're not subscribed, it'd mean a lot if you did. I'm just trying to get started. I mean, I'm not making any money off of this or anything. It's just something that I like to do because I really like to play Yu-Gi-Oh! And I just like to entertain people. And so, and here's when I was like, okay, what is going on? He summons all the pieces of Exodia, and I was really confused because I know that some people will put Exodia into Dark World decks, and that's why I was really confused. I was just like, I feel like whenever they do, it's always like there are more draw-based cards, and I guess I really should have seen the signs because they weren't playing any Silvas or any of those. And so, right here, I'm trying to figure out what to side deck, and then the obvious choice is right in front of me. I was like, should I put Skill Drain? And then I was like, wait, it's Dark World, so why would I play Skill Drain? And so I go with just 2 cards. I just put in 2 Soul Drains, just because I know that those can really mess Dark World up. And since I feel like the only things he's really going to be summoning are Graphos, which you can get over a Fossil Dyna in Dark World fairly easy, so I felt like siding one out was a good idea. And I sided out the Hero Blast just because I felt like it was a better option. And so, starting game 2, figured I'd just go with an easy little Photon Thrasher play and then set 2. I didn't want to set 3 just because Heavy Storm is always an issue. So, yeah, he sets 2 back row and then just ends. And so, instead of trying to commit to the field, I was fearing Torrential a little bit, so I just wanted to see if I could get some quick damage in with my Photon Thrasher. And luckily my attack gets through, so I can put some damage on the board. And then, because he sets 2, I'm feeling confident enough to set the bottomless. So I end my turn with a Photon Thrasher, Bottomless Trap Hole, Dimensional Prison, and Solemn. And then he's got 2 set. And Honest is a really good card in this deck just because you play a lot of light targets. And this deck is actually, it's kind of old just because I haven't updated it in a while. And I'm starting to think that I should probably put Starliege Paladynamo in here just because it's a really good card, and I play enough light targets for it to be, like, a very reliable card. The only thing is I really don't know what I would take out because I feel like my extra deck is pretty solid. But if you guys have any ideas, feel free to tell me in the comments. I might take out Cowboy, or... I might take out Cowboy, just because I feel like the only thing it really does is burn damage, but this deck doesn't really have a hard time putting damage on the board. So I feel like Cowboy is just kind of useless in this deck. And so I might take him out for Paladynamo and just do a little bit of testing with that. But anyway, so I summon my Butterfly and attack, put some damage on the board again. And right here, I'm questioning whether or not to set the Soul Drain just because putting 4 back row is never really a good idea. But I feel like Soul Drain is such a good card against Dark Worlds that it's really important that I play it. And right here, I kind of do a stupid thing because I chained it right to when he activates. I chained Soul Drain right to when he activates Gates. So he technically didn't have to banish his snow, but he does anyways. And it's just little things like that since I've been playing so long that a good player would not have banished their snow, but he did. And it's just something that, sorry, I just got a text, that with time, I'll just kind of like learn. So like once I get back into it, I won't make such small plays. Sorry, I gotta text someone real quick. My friend Marissa and my friend Sean. Alright, so anyways, so he goes for the normal summon, and I say yeah, just so that when he summons his Grapha I can banish it. I mean, that's a pretty easy thing to do with Dark Worlds. Sorry, I'm getting text. I'm just gonna silence my phone real quick. Okay, and so I draw into Fossil Dyna, and I'm like, alright, I've got pretty much superior field advantage, so I'm gonna see if I can stop his special summons. And I'm confident enough to summon the Fossil Dyna because I have the Dimensional Prison. And so he activates Threatening Roar, which is kind of annoying because he's basically just stalling out, even though I've kind of got game. And so right here, I decided to get rid of the Gorge just because I've got so many cards on the field that it's kind of useless to me right now. And so, I don't know, I feel like the Gorge is just kind of getting a little bit... I might take it out for something else because I feel like this deck plays so many cards that it's kind of dead sometimes, but at the same time, you go through your traps and your monsters so quickly that sometimes you'll be stuck with an open field. So it is a good thing to have at times. I mean, so far I like the deck the way it is. I feel like it does really well against certain decks. And so, I don't really see a point in changing it. And so, just going through the motions. He tries to attack, and I activate my Dimensional Prison, just so I can keep that Fossil Dyna on the field, so that he can't special summon anything. I think, and so right here, I'm trying to figure out if I summon Honest that would be game, and I'm really bad at math, so I have to pull up my calculator, and then, so I figure it out, and then I figure out that I can, um, I thought that I would just attack, but then I remembered that I could add Alias, which is like the strongest monster that I could add to my hand at the time, and that would be enough damage to make a game. So I just calculate that out real quick, and then decide to add the Alias to my hand to try to make a game. So I activate emergency call. It doesn't do anything, so I figure it's okay. Add the Alias. I probably could have added uh, Stratos just to add, just in case he activated Mirror Force or anything, but I figured those two trap cards have been down pretty much the whole game, so I don't really see, um, I don't really see them doing anything too bad. And so I go to put my attacks in, and I'm pretty sure that this is game. Oh no, he activates a Threatening Roar. Okay. So I have to wait one more turn. I summon my Gemini Spark. I think he draws and then just, I think he forfeits, yeah. So he forfeits, and then we just go to a game 3. I can't really think of anything good to side, so I just hit done siding, because I just kind of want to, I don't want to play Dark Worlds for any longer than I really have to. Anyway, I used to really like Dark Worlds. It's one of those classic things in Yu-Gi-Oh where it's alright if you're playing it, but if anybody else is playing it, then you hate it. It's one of those kind of decks. And I feel like, uh, I don't know, I feel like Dark Worlds is just a really annoying deck, just because Grapha is pretty much just a recurring nightmare. And it's tough for heroes, because most decks would just side in Dimensional Fissures or something. But with heroes, you kind of need your graveyard for the Miracle Fusion plays. So it's just kind of tough. It's a tough matchup for heroes, I feel like. So he summons his Malefic Stardust, and then he just kind of ends his turn. And then, so I'm thinking here, and I'm thinking how I can get over this. And I was just reading its effect because I forgot what it did. So for some reason I thought, like, I don't know, for some reason I thought I wouldn't be able to get my attack through, but basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to add Photon Thrasher to my hand, special summon it, normal summon the Alias, make a Excalibur, and then just attack over it. And my computer was running really slow at this time for some reason, so special summon, normal summon, overlay, make the, make the Excalibur, and activate the effect, boost it up to 4,000, and then just attack over it. And so I'm sitting on a field with, sorry, I was checking my phone, so I'm sitting on a field with Excalibur and then 2 face downs, I forget what they are. Sets a card. I really don't feel, I think I just no, I was trying to figure out if there was a way that I could put game on field, but after I thought about it a little bit, I realized I couldn't, so I just summoned the Alias, and then attack, and then just put some damage on board. For some reason I thought I could actually put game on board with the cards that I had. So I just attack, I think it's like a snow, yeah. So I attack, deal 1900, and then I thought about setting warning, but I didn't want Heavy Storm to be a thing, so I only kept the two. And so, right when he banishes, I activate the Soul Drain. God, I love Soul Drain against Dark World so much, and I'm so lucky I drew into it first turn. And so, sorry, and he says GG, gives me a smiley face, and that's the game. So, thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you guys later.